morning, RAM Fam. My name is Sabrina Torres, Student Activities Manager for the Multicultural and Student Activities Center. Welcome back to Virtual El Cafecito. Sonia and I will be interviewing Coach Chuck Waddington, the head volleyball coach and assistant director, athletic director of marketing and promotions. Thank you for joining us today.
You're very welcome. That's quite a mouthful. I didn't realize that.
I know. We got to get it right?
Heck yeah.
All right, so are we ready to get started with the question?
I am so ready, let me tell you.
Okay. Alrighty. What would a world populated with clones of you look like?
Bald, very shiny on the top, fun, competitive. There'd be competitions with everything. It'd be all right. I think it'd be okay.
I think it would be fun.
I'd laugh at a lot of my own jokes, which would be great. I do that already, so that's all good.
What is your favorite home-cooked meal?
Steak, mashed potatoes, corn on the cob probably is my go-to.
Ooh, that sounds like a yummy one. Lunch?
Yeah, for real.
If you had a giraffe and you needed to hide it, where would you hide it?
I would hide it in my garage because I can't find anything in my garage.
That's so funny. What word do you always mispronounce?
Across, which is supposed to be across. And I say it all the time. It's a Northeast thing. I grew up in upstate New York, and everybody says across. And my players give me a hard time for it all the time. Look across the net. Coach, what does that mean? That's not a word. I'm like, okay.
Okay. That's funny, but at least you give them some of that New York culture, right?
Yeah. Bad English, bad pronunciation culture.
What would you consider ASU's or San Angelo's best hidden gem?
Probably the people. I tell you what, everybody is so nice here. A perfect example is how people drive down here. You're on the road and you're going out of town and people just like pull over, so you can go around them or go by them. That would never happen in New York. Never. Not one time ever.
I mean, there are a lot of people there. So I guess I can say it's kind of understanding not to do it because there's so many cars already there, but yeah.
Well, I didn't grow up in New York City. I grew up in upstate New York, but it doesn't matter. It's just in general. People in New York are bad drivers. They're angry drivers. So it's, yeah. The people here are great. Love it.
All right, my turn. So my question is, how much do you plan or prepare for your future?
Every day. As a college coach, I'm always recruiting, trying to plan my team and my players 3 years down the road, So we're talking to kids that are sophomores in high school, So I mean, that's my career, that's my job. So that's all I really do is plan, and then replan, because you plan on one kid coming or one kid staying and then something changes. So it's a constant state of flux, but always planning.
Yeah. Even just like planning for change too, like a plan B, a plan C, I imagine.
Yeah. That's every day.
Yeah. 30-second challenge. So it's going to be the chicken and the egg question. Which one came first? But you only have 30 seconds to answer.
That's easy. Eggs for breakfast, chicken for dinner. Obviously, the egg came first.
I think so too. So I like your answer. My next question is, if you can only use one condiment for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's a tough one. It's toss up between ketchup and mayonnaise, but I'd probably go with mayonnaise, which is weird. Most people don't think of mayonnaise as a condiment, but you use it for a lot of things.
I think it is definitely important. Okay, so do you know what a social media influencer is?
Probably.
Okay, so my next question is, if you were a social media influencer yourself, what would you be famous for?
I would be famous for, I don't know, winning maybe, turning things around, writing books about winning, winning at dumb games at home, card games, family game night, just all about winning.
I like that. What's your funniest joke that you know by heart off the top of your head?
Well, I've got a 7-year-old at home who tells me jokes every day, and the one that kind of sticks in my head that I remember is, remember, this is coming from the 7-year-old. What do you call it when the queen farts? Any guesses? No?
No, and I feel like I should know it. Like,
I thought
I'm
I
a
should
college
too,
student and I should be smart, but no, I
but I
can't think
didn't.
of anything.
It's called a noble gas.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
There you go. You know, she's already got dad jokes. She's 7. I love it. Good deal.
Yes. That's
That's so funny and very cute. Alrighty. What were you completely certain about until you found out that you were wrong?
Yeah, the across wasn't a word. I even spelled it for him. ACROSSED, across. And they're like, no, coach, look it up. And I did right there in practice. And it was not a word. I was very disappointed because I've been saying that my whole life.
That's funny. What is the best advice you have for first generation students?
I would say find out, do some research about where your resources are on campus, how to get help, because if you're on your own, basically as a first generation student, figure out how everything works and how you can find help and to get yourself into a better spot. I mean, you don't have to be on your own. There's lots of things on campus that can help you be successful. And that's not just academically, it's socially, it's athletically, if you're a student athlete. I mean, just find out where your help is.
Yeah, I love that answer because most students that are first generation students don't know their resources, but once they figure it out and they have the resources on their campus, they're like, oh, I'm not alone in this. We're a Rampam for a reason.
Yeah.
We're always helping each other out.
Heck yeah.
What always cheers you up when you think about it?
My kids, I've got 3, 21, 14, and 7, 2 girls on the outside and a boy in the middle. They do stuff all the time. It just amazes me, blows me away, makes me say, whoa, and whoa, all at the same time, so
All at the same time.
they're a great source of joy for me, for sure.
Yeah, family is always one of those ones where like something crazy can happen. It can be super funny or like, this is not so funny, but it's still funny, in a weird way, I guess.
It'll be funny 10 years from now, probably.
Yeah. All right, so we have another 30-second challenge.
Okay.
What would the title of your autobiography be?
Probably Tell Me I Can't. That would be the title.
That would be very interesting. I would read it.
Yeah, bestseller, New York Times. Let's go. Let's do it.
Would you rather always be slightly late or super early?
Well, always early. Can never be late. Very early if possible.
If possible, right?
Okay. My next question, like maybe you've never thought about this, but what brand are you most loyal to?
Well, I do think about that because my players ask me all the time, can we get this? Can we get that? I'm an Adidas guy. I love Adidas. Nike has great stuff. We have some Nike stuff, but like for me, I'm not small, I have a wide frame. So Adidas stuff just fits me better. Like Under Armour, it squeezes me like a sausage. I hate that, so I'd say I'd probably be an Adidas guy. I like Nike shoes, but clothes, I like Adidas.
Nice. Okay, so on a more general spectrum, just what advice do you have for new students coming to campus?
Well, obviously, go to volleyball matches. You'll have the best time ever. Have either one of you been to volleyball matches?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good answer. Otherwise, this interview would be over right there. I would say get involved. Don't just sit in your room. Don't cling to back home. Get involved in the things around you. Meet some people. The people around you are amazing. But you got to take the time to get to know them. And a great place to do that is a volleyball match. Screaming for something that you know nothing about, probably.
Yeah, I just kind of pick it up as it goes. Like I know the ball is not supposed to touch the ground, but
there you go. That's the best thing to go by in volleyball. If you can do that, you could be a great player and a great fan.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's exciting for me at least. Okay, so if you had a movie that you could rewatch, but as if it were the first time for that, what movie would it be?
Oh, I would say any sports movie, anything that has to do with sports, because I'm one of those guys that like puts themselves in the movie, like lives the moment with the athlete or whoever the main character is, you know. And so I can watch a movie that I've watched 10 times, and it's like I watched it the first time because I put myself in that place and get stupid emotional. It's awful. It's fun, but it's awful. You know, even movies like funny sports movies like Bull Durham, you know, hysterical movie, great movie. But at the end, you know, there's a scene where the guy's at bat and something has to happen, you know, and you know, it gives you chills. And so really any sports movie probably.
Yeah. Is it as if you watch it from a slightly different angle every time you watch the movie?
I am the guy at bat. You know, I mean, I put
Uh-huh.
myself in that position. I kind of, hey, what would this feel like if that were me? You know, and you know, even though I've never been in that position, you know, but I put myself in there. You know, so um,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
That's a great way to like watch a movie now I think about it. Instead of just
Yeah,
like,
don't do it with horror movies. You know,
oh,
you don't want to do that with a horror movie.
oh
You don't want
yeah.
to be scared for the rest of your life. So I don't watch them.
Yeah, I guess avoid that genre. I can't. I mean, even for like,
I watch them like this, you know, and with a blanket over my head, and you know, trying to distract myself when I know something's going to jump out. My kids and my wife know that I'm very jumpy, so they try to scare me all the time. You know,
oh,
so yeah, for me,
that sounds fun though.
it is fun for them, I'm sure, but not a little less fun for me.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you have a bucket list yourself? And like, if you do have one, can you like tell us about that?
You know, I don't know that I have a list for sure. There's a few things probably I want to do. I want to go to Rome. I want to take my wife there. You know, it's just really all over Italy and see all the artwork and all the stuff that people talk about. The biggest thing I want to see the Colosseum. You know, that would be amazing to see, and you know, go to Greece and see all the ruins over there. But really, other than traveling, not too much. You know, I mean, I live. I like my life. I like what I've done. I don't have any, you know, I got to go skydiving, or I do it, you know, but I don't feel like I have to do it before I die. Otherwise I've missed out, you know, but I would like to go to Europe and see Italy and Greece and you know, cause I know my wife would like to do that too. We said we could share. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's like super exciting. Um, my next question for you is, are you more productive at night or in the morning?
Definitely in the morning. Um, I wouldn't say I'm a morning guy. I hate getting up, but I get things done in the morning. In the afternoon, or in the evening, it's not the same, you know. So definitely in the morning.
Hmm. Me too. I'm
Yeah.
like you.
See, you're a clone. You're one of my clones. Question number one.
I have too much hair right now.
Well, give it time. Just
Yeah.
trust me, you know.
Patience is key.
There you go.
All right. Online shopping or in-person shopping?
No shopping ever. Shopping, the
Never.
devil. No, I'm the guy, like, I know what I want, I go get it, and I leave. You know, there's no like, oh, let's look at this.
Oops, browse around.
No,
That's me.
zero.
I'm the browsers. It's like I came for one thing, but let's go look and see what else there is.
Yeah, that's not, I can't do that. I'm not a shopper.
And then you're like 3 hours in Target, and you're just like, what did I just buy? When you walk out.
Yeah, not me. Get it. Tunnel vision. Get my stuff. Get out.
Focus, right?
Yep.
I'm
Locked
kind
in.
of jealous of that. I'm just like, I can't do that either.
Well, I hate it. You know, I mean, I'm sure I could easily, you know, I mean, I could easily just go buy, but I don't want to do that. I had self-control, you know, and
Yeah.
I just hate shopping. I hate every bit of it.
What topic do you spend that you could spend hours talking about?
I don't know, like student athletes in general, but volleyball for sure. Any sports, you know, competing, you know, team culture type of stuff. You know, you get me going, and I can go, and I never have problems talking in front of people. So it really just point me in a direction and say go, and I can usually go. Hopefully I know something about it, but you know, sports in general, but generally volleyball. I played basketball in college, so I can talk basketball all the time. And you know, anything in that area probably. I hate politics.
I would probably listen to it because I'm like into like sports, I guess you can say, and so I would definitely, it would be an interesting conversation just to like your knowledge and your background, you know, to just keep on learning that information. Something that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm not a politics guy. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. You know, you see all this fake news stuff. I just turn it off. I don't listen to it. You know, I get the newspaper when my team is in season. That's it. So I can read about my team. You know. I watch ESPN.
So this is kind of not a tricky question, but it's a question that's just going to be out there.
Okay.
What does your car have a name, and what is it?
Well, that is not an easy answer. So any car that I've bought for myself, you know, growing up, my car's name was always Bessie. Why? I couldn't tell you. I think my mom would call her cars Bessie, so maybe I did too. But I currently drive like my wife. I got my wife a new car, and I took her car, but I can't rename her car. Her car has a name already, you know, and I didn't name it. So it's a big Toyota SUV Sequoia, you know, and it's called the Great White. So that is the name of my car, but I didn't name it. I just go by it, you know. But every car that I've gotten for myself has been Bessie.
Nice.
I couldn't tell you why. No idea.
I've named one of my cars the Golden Ranger because it was gold. So there you go. So I guess we all have those weird names for our cars, but that's okay. It gives you yourself, like, you have personality, you know, you're fun.
You rely on your car more than you rely on any people ever.
Yes. My goodness. Yes.
You don't think about it until all of a sudden your car doesn't work. And you're like, Bessie, no, what happened to my baby?
Very, very true. So next one is a truth or dare.
Truth.
Truth? Okay. What is your favorite household chore?
Dare. I'm just kidding. Well, we just bought a house. So, and it's a fixer-upper type of house. So I've got a list of projects that'll last me 3 years. So I like working on the house. I like finishing things, and you know, so probably working on the house, like trying to check things off of that list, get it where it needs to be, you know, so I can have people over. Maybe clean the garage so I can find that giraffe in there. And,
right. Yeah. Always. I feel like DIY projects, or like projects in your own home, always, you know, is fun to do. Like my sister, she's actually redoing her restroom, so she's taking down the wallpaper that's like from forever ago. Yep. It's been a process. She just started it, I think, just yesterday, and so I think she got most of it down. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Hey, follow me on Instagram, Waddington7, and you can see my whole progress. There's lots of little projects I've been working on in there.
Heck yeah, I will scroll through Instagram. I will do it. I'll do it. I'm gonna have to follow you now.
Waddington7, that's me, baby.
Alrighty. So the next question I have is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you rate your laugh?
Right in the middle, average. You know, I'm not the guy you hear like that makes everybody look like, what was that? You know, but I'm not a meek laugher either. You know, I like to laugh, but I'd say it's probably 5 right in the middle.
I feel like me personally, mine's on a 10, because like if you hear my real laugh, it's really, really high pitched, like a dolphin. And so I get those looks that you just did, just like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Gosh, that's funny.
So yeah.
I think me and Sabrina have really loud laughs, and so like if we're talking, you can probably hear it from like outside of office.
Most definitely, Sonia. I have to agree.
Or like I'm like, oh, Sabrina's here.
That means you enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I think we like feel off each other too. I don't know. That's crazy.
You guys get a lot of work done, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Very productive.
Okay, so my question for you is, what is one thing that your grandparents have taught you?
My grandmother, okay, so here's the story. Like, back in the 30s, maybe. Let's see how old she was born. 20. So it'd have to be the 30s or 40s. Harlem Globetrotters were like a men's basketball team. You probably heard of them. Well, there was a group called the Cincinnati Redheads, which was a women's group. My grandmother was an exceptional basketball player. No, not too many people know that. And she got invited to be on this traveling team. That's how good she was. But she had to dye her hair red, and her mother would not let her do it. I guess she was like 16 or 17 at the time, and she wouldn't let her do it, so she never went. But she was a really good basketball player, so she taught me how to shoot a basketball. And I don't know. That's something she taught me, and I played basketball in college, and still play quite a bit. So I owe that to her.
That's awesome. Like
Yeah.
that journey from just, I don't know, just your grandma and then like boom, getting to college, play back. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't know this.
We would sit in her living room, and she would take a wastebasket and put it in the corner, and we'd get all these newspapers and we'd wad them up, and we'd just practice shooting, and she would never miss, and so I was always trying to beat my grandmother in wastebasket basketball.
How often did that happen?
Every time I was there, every time. And I spent a lot of weekends with my grandmother. My parents were young, and they would go do things on the weekends. So I would go to grandma's, and all the other cousins would be there too. And so that happened quite a bit. It was that's kind of how I grew up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try that because I'm not very good at basketball either. So
hey, makes a difference. Follow through,
Follow through, yes.
Get in the screen, never follow through.
Yeah. Okay, my next question is: would you rather have a get out of jail free card or a key that opens any door?
Well, I'm a rule follower, so probably a key that opens any door. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
What door would I open? I have no idea.
You'd have to find out. Try enough doors, and then you'll find out which one is worth it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of looking towards the future, what job doesn't exist right now but will probably exist in the future, or is it making?
So I asked my daughter, she's in college, this question because I had no clue what the answer would be, and she said a hologram repairman. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. But then I said like an interstellar police officer. You were going twice the speed of light there. You're gonna have to slow down, son. That kind of stuff.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's gonna happen. That's my next job after I'm done coaching.
I think that's something I want to achieve. I don't know if like getting a bachelor's in psychology would help me, but
well, it could help you get out of those interstellar speeding tickets, maybe.
Yes. So it is useful. Okay. So are you like an outdoorsy person since you're athletic?
I used to be. I coach an indoor sport. I chose that sport for a reason, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm outdoors enough, probably.
Okay. So with that, what's your favorite thing to do outside?
I like to grill. I like to cook, on the grill. Play cornhole, I used to play a lot of beach volleyball when I was younger. And so, I've spent my fair share of time outside, but, I'm not a fan of the sun. I lived in Florida for 12 or 13 years, and, watch a lot of my friends like turn to leather, and, I don't like that. So, but I'll be outside if I have to. I don't like bugs, like mosquitoes. Living in Florida was awful because it was humid all the time, and there were mosquitoes. They were brutal. I like it out here in West Texas. It's dry. There's not very many mosquitoes. It's just, you feel your skin sizzle because it's 105 degrees. So that nice West Texas breeze helps. But I don't want to turn into leather. I don't want to be one of those people when I get old. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I heard an example that like kind of being on the coast, like in a humid place, is kind of like being a hard-boiled egg because you're all wet, and that's like it's like a wet hot, and then over here it's like being a fried egg because it's like dry hot. I don't know which one.
That's pretty accurate. I would disagree with that.
Yeah, I prefer dry too, but My next question is, what problem or situation did TV or movies make you think was common, but then later you found out wasn't that common?
Squirrels don't live underwater.
Good.
You know, I mean, SpongeBob was like when I was in my 20s, but I watched a lot of it because I had kids, you know. Let's see. The good guy doesn't always win, probably. You know, it's not always happily ever after. You know, those are myths you grow up with watching TV and shows, and you know, when people are, you know, there are some shows where people never die, you know, and but that's not true. You know, stuff always happens, and Jedis are not real. That sucks. You know, that was my greatest disappointment. You know, I wanted to be a Jedi when I was a kid. I saw the very first Star Wars in the theater in '76. So,
Wow.
I was 5 years old, and I learned later on in life that Jedis aren't real. You know, that was heartbreaking for me.
Yeah. Well, I agree with the good people always don't win. I don't. Yeah. But that's why they're movies, right? It's just like a fictional thing, just nice to be thinking about
Fairyland.
that.
That's right. This is what I aspire to be.
I want to be like the movies.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know. I think like when kids are growing up and they're like that kindergarten stage, and they're just like, "Oh, what would you like to be?" And somebody like they say all different ones, and then if they do what they say, like you know, as they grow up, that's freaking awesome. But some, you know, we all change and we learn new things. I think that's really really cool too.
Yeah, I have a cool story about that. So, like, my oldest and my youngest are 14 years apart, you know, and so um, when my youngest was in preschool, about to graduate, so she would go to kindergarten that next year, they have this little ceremony, and they ask the girls or all the kids, you know, they come up and they ask them a question: "What do you want to be when you grow up?" You know, and actually they don't ask them; they ask them before, and they have the answer, and they read it out loud. And my littlest, she's like, "I want to be like my big sister," and I thought that was probably the coolest answer ever. So
That's so sweet. Oh, I would have choked up probably.
yeah, and then she said, "If not, if I can't do that, I'd be a mermaid." So it's a toss up, you know, one of the
Yeah,
two.
yeah. Okay, so the next question that I have is a hot dog a sandwich or why not?
A
Sorry.
sand dog, a hot witch. No, a hot dog is not a sandwich. It is a standalone. You don't put bread on a hot dog, you know, unless you're desperate and you're out of hot dog rolls or hot dog buns, whichever you want to call them. Hamburger
Yeah.
is not a sandwich either. But so no, hot dog is definitely not a sandwich.
All right. We've had a few different ones where like someone has always said yes. I think Aaron said yes last time. I'm not sure, but it was just like, what? I was like, I think it's a hot dog, just a hot dog, not a sandwich.
You go to a hot dog shop or you go to a sandwich shop, you know.
Right?
You go to a hot dog stand, you know. You don't. It's not a sandwich stand, so
Yeah,
no way.
true. What is your favorite holiday tradition?
Eating until I can't breathe on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All the yummy goodness.
Oh, it's crazy. It's my favorite holiday.
Can you give us words of encouragement for students going into summer classes?
Good for you, first of all, to get yourself ahead. I think summer classes are some of the best ideas. You're making a smart choice because you're kind of isolating the class. You know, it's just you in that class. You know, kind of one-on-one instead of 5 or 6 classes at the same time. It's a great way to get yourself ahead, and so I think you're making a smart move. Good job. Hooray. Yay, you.
What is the closest thing to magic in real life?
Uh, Probably, I have a degree in physics, so I could say a bunch of different science things, but rainbows are the closest thing to magic in real life. You can make your own rainbow, you know, get some sun and get a hose and put it in a spray pattern, and poof, there's a rainbow right there. It's that like that. I'm going to be a hologram, you know, repairman. It starts with, I just made a hologram right there. There it is, the rainbow.
Boom, right? All right, so our last question is, who do you think we should invite next week for virtual El Cafecito 35 questions.
Well, who has been on? Like, I didn't even know about this, so this was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. But who's been on so far?
We've had Dr. Flores, Manny Campos. We just had Farah, Christabel. Who are a few others? Sonia, do you think?
I'm thinking because we've done a lot.
Yeah, we've done us too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, anybody that you can think of.
Well, any of the coaches would be fun. But there's a professor on campus. I love him, man. He's awesome. And he has us come in and speak to his classes too. He teaches a couple communities and coaching classes. Dr. Daniel, I think he would be a very interesting interview. I think it'd be fun. So maybe ask
All right,
him.
heck yeah.
But any of the coaches, I think it would be great. My assistant coach, Evan Amstutz, would have some crazy answers for you. Like nothing like mine, like totally left field. It would be fun. So yeah, I think there's some good choices out there.
Yeah, that's looking forward to that. We just we know there's so many great faculty and staff on campus. We just have trouble like narrowing it down, you know. So
yeah.
All
When did you guys start doing this?
I want to say like almost like after everybody kind of like whenever the pandemic kind of happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like a week, maybe 2 weeks after everybody was kind of like, hey, we can't come back to campus.
Yeah.
And that's when we came up with the idea of like, hey, we should probably reach our students just virtually in a different way. And so our office came up with this, and we have been doing it ever since, and it's really fun. So
yeah.
Okay, so who suggested me? That's my question.
I think was it Farah?
Possibly.
I think it was Farah because she mentioned Manny Campos. Oh, Lenore. It was Lenore.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just like, hold on. Yeah, so it was Lenore. And she was like, he's funny, and you know,
No.
and so I'm sure that you are.
Well, hopefully I proved it right, but this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to end with that today. Thank you for watching this week's episode of El Cafecito at Angela State. Also, thank you to our guest, Coach Waddington, for joining us today. And we hope you have a great rest of the week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.